A firm believer in the adage, there is always a way. Today, I have with me a thought leader who believes in proffering and nurturing an environment where people find the courage to seek a solution to every problem. Please allow me to welcome Mr. Dharmender Kapoor, CEO and MD at Birlasoft, who didn't get bogged down by the reverberations of the pandemic and, in fact, is looking at a $1 billion turnover over the next 5 years. Well, that's quite big a target, sir. With that, I would want you to join us on this session on BW Marketing World.
Thank you, Soumya. Thank you.
Sir, let me begin with asking you, how have the past 7, 8, 9 months been for you both personally and professionally?
Absolutely. This was definitely a very defining moment, I would say that, for the industry as well as personally, because as we entered into the month of March this year, and we could see that there were so many challenges around or uncertainty around the pandemic situation, we thought that we will not know how the situation will emerge. But there was one thought that emerged in a team discussion where we all said that maybe it is something that is going to be an inflection point for Birlasoft. And I think that is how we took it. I'm very, very, thankful to the time. I know that it is a challenging time for the world over, but I am still very thankful to this time that it gave us an opportunity to look at things very, very differently. We were probably the first company who started working from home in the month of March. That was the agility that Birlasoft had shown, and it had been appreciated by our clients very well. There has not been even a single challenge. There has not been even a single issue with our performance. In fact, our clients had been very open in appreciating the level of support that we provided them. And that was reflected in many of the wins that we had with our existing clients as well as with new clients in the last 6 to 9 months. So in my opinion, I think both personally and professionally, I think this was a very, very defining moment for us. And we definitely want to take the full advantage of this time so that we can redefine ourselves in a newer way going forward.
So as you just mentioned that agility and flexibility have been the two buzzwords this year, how have big tier and mid tier IT companies reflected these in their approach?
I believe that IT industry in general did very well, much better than anybody would have thought of, because the work from home was not a norm, and with a little bit of initial hiccups, I think everybody did very well with their clients as well as working from home. There were a lot of changes that we had to bring in with respect to the newer technologies that we will use so that we can provide more secured environment to our clients. At the same time, a little bit of help that was required with respect to training our own teams in order to cope up with the current situation. I believe that every company did very well. I have not heard anyone who could not really cope up with the pressure or the challenge for this time. So I'm extremely happy that the entire industry stood up very well and shown the resilience that was required during this time.
I second you on that, sir, that IT was one of those sectors which can be fairly said that it was least affected. Is that, do you believe in that? It was one of the most least affected sectors in terms of both employability and business.
Correct. It was more so that we are services companies, and it requires training our people onto the newer technologies, training our people to continue to work from home where they have not done it before. So yes, that is right. IT industry was least impacted, though initially it was thought that we will have a challenge because we work with industries such as banking and financial services.
Yeah.
Of the other industries, which have very high requirement of information security and cyber security. But I believe that we were able to do well, and that's the reason that the impact on the business was very less. On the other hand, I also believe that our services were very much essential services. It is not only realization to our own companies, but also to the governments of different countries that IT industry, how essential the IT services are. And I think they really stepped up very well in supporting the IT industry also, so that they continue to work from home.
Right. So, you being the captain of the ship, how do you see the role of leadership change or transform to resolve the challenges emanating from these uncertain times? Do you think the pandemic has changed your leadership style?
Absolutely. Sometimes we all believe that we had to be sitting face to face in order to interact with our people, in order to get the right level of performance from our teams. But that has completely changed, because when you are not in front of each other and when you're working from home and there's only a screen between me and my team, at that point of time you go a little extra mile to provide them the help and support that is required. And I believe that is one change in the leadership style that has happened for me personally, as well as for my leadership team also, that we went extra mile to enable our teams, because that's how then we could provide the services. The second was a lot of time we moved away from what you call from traveling to communicating. So earlier, for a lot of discussions, we will go and travel and meet our clients. But today, we do a lot more communication than before. For every day, I am in touch
I
with
think
someone.
you and I are a live example right now.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's absolutely right. That otherwise we would have met in person, but now we are able to interact very effectively on the Zoom or on any other communication channel, and that's what is happening between us and clients also. Our level of communication has increased tremendously. Okay, at the same time, the business has started understanding that how can they be made available at any point of time, and the level of flexibility that is required in this business has well understood during this time. Now that is the simpler aspects of changing the behavior. But what we have to look at going forward is that the entire business model is changing. I believe that is the biggest test of the leadership, that when this is happening, we do not look at the simpler aspects of it alone, but also look at how the business model will change. The digital is really happening to IT industry now. We have been making a lot of discussions around digital for our clients, but we did not talk about a lot of digital for our own companies. But these 9 months have been the time when we started adopting digital ourselves, as to how can we create a boundaryless work environment, how can we provide the newer way of connecting with our clients and with our people in a far more effective way. How can I provide the service without traveling to a particular location? If my team is today sitting at multiple locations, how can I make them work effectively by coming together virtually? So the virtual project teams have started coming together. In fact, in some of the situations, we have agreed with our clients that our team should not be sitting at one location even after pandemic is over. They should not be sitting in one office. They should be sitting in different locations, so that even if there is an infection, the whole team doesn't go down. So the entire boundaryless work environment and that business model has started coming up.
So it is expected that most IT services companies are likely to recover in some extent by the second quarter of 21, as major countries emerge from lockdown and restart their economies. What are your thoughts on the recovery in the hiring and business side of the IT industry?
I believe the recovery has started happening already, for most of the IT companies. It is just that there are still certain uncertainties that are there, as you know that the second wave is being talked about,
Yeah.
and some of the lockdowns are being enforced. Hence, there are certain uncertainties still there. But most of the companies have started seeing the recoveries. The one or two sector which are more vaccine dependent, for example, the travel sector and the hospitality sector is still dependent upon the availability of the vaccines, and they will not be able to recover as much as we would like them to be by that time. So I think barring that, most of the other industries are also recovering very well, and that's the reason that we have started seeing the projects and the opportunities coming back on the technology side. One change of thought that has happened, or the realization that has happened, is that technology is the one which is going to really pull people out of this current situation. I went and talked to some of our clients, the client CIOs, and I asked one question to them, that if you knew that you are going to hit pandemic 1 year down the line, what decisions you would have taken at that point of time? And I think those are some of the things that are going to be very important going forward, because the regrets that were there 1 year back are the opportunities going forward. And that had been our focus. They are completely focused on doing more and more automation. They are going to be focused on risk mitigation through enhanced cyber security. They are looking at how do they adopt digital technology far more quicker, so that their business can continue to work even if this pandemic continues for a long time. So I think those are some of the opportunities that are becoming very, very crucial for the survival of the industries. It is not a matter of differentiation anymore. Technology is going to be a matter of survival, and that's the reason that we are seeing the momentum picking up, and IT industry talking about that they will be able to recover very, very quickly in the coming quarters. And that will, of course, lead into a fresh momentum in the hiring. We have also started going into the market and really looking at how do we hire the skills. We have used the 9 months to train our people onto the digital technologies, so that we do not have to completely depend upon the skills coming from the outside. So we had a tremendous focus on reskilling our people during this time. At the same time, we have also started looking at the newer models of working. Why can't people continue to work from any location? Why should we only be dependent upon the team sitting only in India? Why can't there be a team sitting in different countries and still work together? Because now those tools are available that can bring the virtual team together and work like a team. So those are some of the changes that I definitely see, but this definitely is going to create a lot of demand for right skills in the market in the coming quarters.
So, as you just mentioned, that the Indian IT industry resisted working from home for years as the world, actually embraced it. However, in this 1 year, it was forcefully, it was forced to finally accept that concept of working from home. So, what other key trends would you predict for the industry, apart from, working from home?
Correct. I think one is that working from home, but it is going to lead into many changes. And I'll give certain examples to bring that discussion. Why should everyone be working for full month for a particular client? Why can't somebody decide to work for 15 days for one particular company and 15 days for another company in a consulting or contracting model?
Okay.
Why should the returning mothers need to work for 8 hours or not work at all? Because you can see that many women, once they go to leave, they don't come back after the birth, and they try to stay at home because the flexibility of working for a fewer number of hours had not been there. Now, why can't there be a policy of half day, half pay? And that gives them the flexibility. At the same time, they can continue to work from home for a longer period of time. So there are many such changes that are going to come up, which will require change in our HR policies. It will also require change in the performance culture, because when you are working from home, it is not necessary that you are sitting for 8 hours or 10 hours or 12 hours on your table and chair. You can be as effective in 5 or 6 hours also. So slowly the performance will be determined by the outcome that you deliver rather than the number of hours that you spend on your desk. So those are some of the things that are going to definitely come and become part of our work culture. And that, in my opinion, will force us to think very, very differently, that how do we optimally utilize the skills, the resources, and the time they spend on the job, and how can we continue to deliver performance higher than that. So far, we have been always looking at the number of people as a way to determine the strength in the organization. But the automation is going to become very key. IT industries have been very good in providing automation to the clients, but there will be a lot of automation now that is being adopted by the IT companies also, so that they can use the technology to become more productive. And I think these are some of the examples that have started showing that we will have to think very differently. We will have to think outside the box in order to deliver the performance that is highly needed today in the current marketplace.
Right. So what are your thoughts on talent versus technology? Do you think technology can ever replace talent?
I don't think it will fully replace the talent ever, because the need for talent also continues to increase. The level of change is very, very fast. At the end, technology is delivered through the talent, because if talent is not there, the new technology will also not come up. The only thing is that this is the cycle for any industry. Manufacturing industry has gone through where a lot of automation has happened, but that does not mean that the volume doesn't increase or that industry is not growing. That industry is growing very well despite having so much of automation. So anything that we have today will eventually become standard, and anything that becomes standard will eventually get automated. And once that standardization happens, the need for differentiation will always continue to come up. And that would mean that we will require a talent which can provide that differentiation. And that differentiation will give birth to new innovation also. That means that I will need to continue to innovate. And that will also require a higher level of talent in order to give us the innovation that we need. Anything that is innovated today will become tomorrow differentiation and will get standardized over a period of time. So this is the life cycle that continues to go on. And I don't think anybody should fear that the job will go away. I don't think anyone should fear that the automation will take away the work that people do. In my opinion, I think everybody has to continue to try their best and continue to reskill themselves so that they remain relevant. And that is true for a company as well as for every individual, that they have to remain relevant, and that would mean that we will have to continue to learn new things and reskill ourselves.
Very well said, sir. Very well said. This brings me to my last question for today. Owing to your 30 years of rich experience in the IT industry, what advices do you have for the budding entrepreneurs and businesses to make the required shifts to survive and thrive in this new normal?
So I think I said the one line in my previous answer, that we always had to continue to find ways by which we can assure that we are being relevant. And that, in my opinion, is the universal truth. when you are in business, because never ever feel that you have created enough boundaries for competition to come in, or you have created enough barricades that people cannot enter into your domain. It does not work. The competition will always be there. There will always be someone else who will come and challenge your business. It is for the businesses to continue to look at how do they reinvent themselves, because the day they stop reinventing, the day they stop changing, that is when the downfall starts happening. So we need to continue to reinvent. We need to continue to assure that we are being relevant for our clients to whom we serve, for the industry to whom we serve, at the same time to our own people whom we bring into our companies, because we are a talent based company. We need to ensure that they also remain relevant. And I generally give that advice to the newcomers in our company. I continue to tell them that welcome to the technology industry. This is the fastest changing industry, and you will have to continue to look at every day what is the new thing that I have to learn. Only then you will remain relevant. Otherwise, after 2 years, if you think that you're going to take a course or you're going to take a class to learn new skill, by that time it is already too late. So it is an everyday job that you have to refresh yourself.
Awesome, sir. This brings me to the end of today's interview. Thank you so much for your time, sir. I hope this will benefit the audiences as well.
Thank you so much.